So here's the thing. For $40 million, I'll get the boys back together.
Welcome back, episode 2 of Trackside. Listen, it might be me tooting my own horn, but might I say the first episode was caliente. It was spicy. Okay, it was Scotch Bonnet. Who are we kidding? It was Scotch Bonnet. It was hot. I mean, I read all the comments on Instagram. Well, did I read them? I did read them. And we stirred some stuff, which we like to do on this show. And I promise, it's only going to get hotter from here. So if you thought that was something, there's more. Okay, AV's here. Oh, yes. Aaron Brown, my Olympic champion co-host, is here. Fresh off the Diamond League in Doha. 4th place in the Deuce. How you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I'm in Toronto, my hometown city. Race was pretty good. Opened up the season. I ran the first 200 of my season. So it's nice to get the feet wet. I went out there and ran from lane 3. So did my thing, finished 4th, and I'm looking to continue and build off of that.
Yeah, it's early in the season.
Yeah.
Okay, so first episode, your teammate, fellow Olympic champion Brendan Rodney was here. And I'm like, who is the best relay team in Canadian history? Your relay team that just won gold in Paris or 1996 Atlanta, anchored by the great Donovan Bailey. Brendan took that thing and he dunked it, and he's like, we are.
You asked the right guy.
I really did. And then you said, listen, Donovan Bailey might come out of retirement if he sees what we're talking about. Yeah. I said, do not show DB this tape. Do not. But Aaron, somebody showed Donovan Bailey.
Oh, boy.
Our tape. Or I just like to say he's a fan of Trackside. He's a friend of the show, but I don't know after this. But check this out.
Here we go.
I love those guys, and ultimately, I'm always going to be supportive of them. But the fact is that you're actually having a conversation about comparing yourself to a team that's 30 years ago is a little crazy. Every single major championships that I went to, I was actually having a cigar and champagne the weekend before the relay. So if they're going to mention my name, then they need to understand that they're talking about the greatest at that time, the greatest of my generation. I was asked this question last week, and I realized that Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, right? So here's the thing. For $40 million, I'll get the boys back together.
That's a lot of money. But, I pay homage to the OGs, okay? So I understand Donovan. He was the man in his heyday, and I give him all the respect. We all looked up to him when we were younger, so it's hard to compare eras. It's just like basketball, comparing like LeBron James to Michael Jordan to Bill Russell. Like they all dominated in their own way. So I'm gonna be political here, and I'm gonna say we're both great in our own right. And it's a different vibe too. Like when we won, it was unexpected. Right. We came out of nowhere. We didn't have the individual success. Lane 9, right? Nobody counted us in, and the only ones that believed was us. When it was in '96, they were the favorites. They came off the gold the previous year, and I believe they won 3 golds in a row. They went 95, 96, 97, so they were a little bit more dominant. Donovan had time to, throw his finger in the air, and, I think that's the argument a lot of people made in the comments was that they slowed up at the end, so they could have been even faster. But my counter argument to that is me and Jerome messed up the handoff, so we could have been faster too. So there's all the what ifs and all the different scenarios that you can play out, but that's the fun of it, and it's a debate for a reason because we're both great, and it's hard to compare different eras.
I like that you say that they're like 2 different teams, 2 different eras, because this was such a passionate topic online, like YouTube, Instagram. People were like, no, 96. No, you guys have the records, you guys have the medals. And so people were like, it's you. This is what I will say, because people were like, Perdita, you haven't weighed in yet.
Yes,
I haven't. But what I will say is this. There's something about, and I think I said it last week, actually. There's something about being the very first team to do it. There's something iconic about that.
For sure.
There's also what our writer and our researcher, Neil, brought up to us, which is true, and I was thinking the same thing. They did it to the Americans in their own backyard. So if you're of a certain age, there's just something about giving it to them in their own, home turf. And I think that's what makes that team so iconic. And then you have, obviously, Donovan being the Olympic champion at the time. It's just like such a huge storyline. But you guys have the medals. You have the record. You have the longevity. I mean, 40 million on your head tops, though, is like,
that's a lot
crazy,
of money.
Right? We're going to go broke and bankrupt for Donovan Bailey.
Right. I want to know how are they splitting that up? Is that all going to Donovan, or the other boys get some love too, or how's that working?
Donovan's going to keep it all for himself.
But
let me say this. For $40 million, I don't think there's a youth serum or an anti-aging
Right.
pill
Yeah.
that's going to help their hamstrings and the joints. It's been 30 years. It has been 30 years. So I think they're going to stay unretired. And I think we'll leave that era and your era 2 golden eras. Can we say that?
I agree. And you know what? They passed the baton to us. We have it now, and we're going to pass it to the next generation. It's a beautiful thing. As long as Canada's on top, we're all winning.
But I know DB pretty well. I have a lot of respect for him. I know he likes to have the last word. So I'm wondering, Aaron, if you would like to look to camera and either challenge or invite Mr. Donovan Bailey, Olympic champion versus Olympic champion, to a fight, a duel, just a debate. Let me not get crazy. Just a debate. Would you like to invite him on to have a conversation?
Listen, Mr. DB, I have much respect for you. Looked up to you when I was a kid. I remember seeing you in a textbook, and that was my introduction to track and field. I thought you were the fastest man in the world, and at a point you were. You had the world record. But this is a different arena. We're not talking about track. We're talking about debating. And you know what? I'm a young gun. I'm up and coming. I'm still getting my feet wet. But I back down from no challengers. So if you want to come up in here, trackside, have a debate, love to have you on. Just know I won't take it easy.
You're not going to take it easy on him.
No, not at all.
I like that.
Not at all.
DV, open invite, my friend. Come on in. Aaron and I, we got you. We got you. Who's the best? You decide. New segment alert. Okay, this one is called In or Out. It's where we give you a storyline, and then we give you our hot take, whether we think it's in or it's out. First up, Noah Lyles. Noah enticed track fans, okay? He was heading into the Atlanta City Games to run the 150 meters. I mean, we were drooling as fans. We were salivating. I need a baby bib personally. I was so excited to see him potentially break Usain Bolt's world record at that distance, because when he tried last year, he was less than a tenth off. 0.06 if you're being picky. And we thought in 2025, this would be the time that he would make it right. He would finally break it, but no, because right before the meet, he pulled out due to a tight ankle. Now, I don't really know what that is, Aaron, but I don't know. But are you in or out on big names pulling out right before a competition?
Listen, I'm an athlete, so I understand that injuries happen, okay? It's part of the game. It sucks, but it's just what happens in sports. But I'm out, you know? I feel like we have a responsibility as athletes, as entertainers. It's a business, right? And it's hard to build a business on the back of not being able to market the athletes that are actually going to be there and have them follow through. So if you're selling tickets to something and you're attracting people and you're attracting fans, you got to protect them a little bit. You got to protect the investment. So we just have to have a little bit more clarity, be a little bit more professional, be able to say, hey, this athlete might not be there, so buy the tickets at your own peril. You know, if you're, I've seen so many times where you have a full slate of athletes that are on the posters to promote the meet, and then at the last second they're out, and it's tough. People travel around the world, especially when you're the marquee athlete. They come in there to see you, and at the last second you rug pull them, and it's hard for the fans, and I feel for them. And I listen to you guys on Twitter. I see the complaints, and so I got to stand up for them, even though I understand athletes have injuries and you want to play it safe, you want to protect your body because your body is your moneymaker. But just be a little more transparent. Just give a little more information. That's all.
Is it okay that he was there as a spectator and just a hype man and a celebrity kind of presence? Was that okay?
I think it's a good consolation. Most times you don't even see the athletes. They just dip. They're just like, I'm out of here. I'm going back to heel.
Fair.
I'm going to go rehab. I'm out of here. But at least he tried to like make up for the fact that he wasn't going to be able to run, try to entertain the crowd, you know, show a little bit of that personality, get people involved, and that's good. So I give him kudos for that. At least he tried to make up for it, but it's not the same as him going out there and running and going for that record.
I totally agree. And a tight hamstring, though, I mean, is it just me? I'm like, what is a tight hamstring? But I'm not accusing him of anything, not saying that, but just tight hamstring, tight ankle, I should say, not hamstring. So I don't know.
Now I got one for you as a former hurdler, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. She's won all 4 of her events in 2 Grand Slam track events so far this season, the 400-meter hurdles and the 400, and now is dropping down to the short hurdles for the 3rd meet in Philly. Short hurdles consist of the 100-meter hurdles and the 100 meters. Perdita, are you in or out on Sydney dropping down to flat 100 meters and 100-meter hurdles?
Oh, I am all the way in on Sydney coming over to the dark side, the short side, okay? I will say this about Sydney. There's a part of her fan base, not me, I'm just a messenger, whoever they are. But there's I can tell or sense, and by reading the comments, that are kind of bored with her. Okay, respectfully meaning, girl, you win all the time. You break records. Like, yawn, we're sick and tired of seeing you do this. You need to be challenged. And again, Sydney, do your thing. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to the comments. Obviously, you're focused, but it can get kind of boring. But I also think there's a part of her, Aaron, that wants a challenge, that wants to go and do something. You know the monotony of training, the monotony of doing the same. Now imagine doing the 100 hurdles and the 100 meters. Her record, personal best, is 12.65. That's rolling.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
So she could try and drop it this season in the Grand Slam track competitions and see what she can do. But I'm all the way in, girl. Now, Sydney, honey, these women are running 12-1 out of bed.
Yeah.
Okay, they put on their super shoes, respectfully, again, but they're running 12-1 just on a bad day. Back in my day, 12-3 was like doing something. Now they will look at you and be like, 12-3, girl, you're slow. So just be ready when you go out there that they're probably going to blow you away and the others because 12-1 is fast. But girl, get out there. Get your 12-2, get your 12-3, and get that PB. I think she can do it.
Listen, Sydney's a competitor, and I love the fact that she's challenging herself. I get it. She is the most dominant athlete we've ever seen in a certain event in the 400-meter hurdles. She can break the world record at will. And that's great. We love seeing greatness. But over time, we want to see you mix it up.
Yeah.
And so to see a new thing, and especially, like you said, the event is red hot. That's probably the most competitive event. Every time it's like an Olympic final with the caliber of talent. So to see her mix it up with them, I'm really excited to see that. And she's ran 11:07 in the flat 100, wind aided, but still that's rolling.
That
and
is
so
rolling.
she could get some good points there in the 100-meter section.
Yes.
And if she can mix it up in the 100-meter hurdle, she's got a shot at the title. We'll see.
So we're both in on this one.
Oh yeah, I'm all the way in.
Okay, how about this one? We're gonna talk about Sha'Carri. Full disclosure here on Trackside. My co-host, Aaron Brown, is training partners with Sha'Carri Richardson, of course, world champion in the women's 100 meters. But she had her season debut, and we love to see it. And here's the thing about this debut, though. So last season when she opened up, Sha'Carri opened up in a 10.8. This time, 11.47 in Tokyo. Now, here's the thing about Sha'Carri. Anytime this woman steps on the track, the internet eats itself. It implodes. It goes crazy. And so everyone was making such a big deal, Aaron, over her lackluster opener. That was them. So are you in or out on this huge drama about Sha'Carri and everyone panicked about her season being in ruins?
Okay, listen. So I'm new to this, right? And I understand. I've seen other broadcasters. I understand you're supposed to be neutral. I'm just going to go out there and admit it. I lose all objectivity when it comes to my teammates. So I'm always going to be defending them in their corner. Yeah, as I should be. That's just a code. You know, these are my training partners.
100%.
We've been through the mud. Anyways, I'm all the way out, okay? Specifically with Sha'Carri, because we've seen this movie before. She's had times where she's opened up and didn't look like she was up to the task. And then Prefontaine rolls around and she's winning and blowing her way and looking like old Sha'Carri.
Smoking them.
Exactly. And for this season in particular, she has the buy already. She doesn't need to be ready in May. She needs to be ready in September. She doesn't even have to go to trials and light it up like she normally does. So she has time to build it up and take her time and just trust the process. Like if she goes to Prefontaine and doesn't look like herself, then you might be like, okay, what's going on? I'm a little worried. But in May, it's a non-starter.
I think even you have to admit that you open up at 10.8 last year. The year before was at 10.7. You come back at 11.47. That's like Earth, us being on Earth, and then someone else being on Pluto. That's like light years away. Those two times are light years away. Like you gotta that's.
It is. But okay, she went across the world. Okay, she's in Japan. Maybe she just didn't adjust to the jet lag.
True.
You know.
True.
And it's not like the entire race was super fast. Like another one of my training partners is TT Terry. She got second in the race, and she didn't light it up either. And she's already ran 11.0. So for her to run, I believe she ran 11.4. You know, there was something off there. There was something amiss. And I just feel like I'm just going to throw that race out. And if it becomes a trend, then I start to be like, okay, there's something going on. But for one race, I expect her to be fully a lot faster the next one when she goes.
Okay, quick question, and I'll leave it alone because I know this is your girl, and you are right as her teammate to stand by her and defend her. I admire that. You know I get it, right?
Yeah,
as you should.
Of course.
But I'm going to push you because I'm going to put on my broadcaster hat and push you.
Come on with it.
So If you're saying that about a performance that's not that great, should we have that same energy when someone goes out there and runs a 10.6 or a guy goes out there and runs a 9.8 or 9.7 in May? Should we be like, oh, no, it was super fast now, but it might not be fast later? Like, what should we do with that then?
It depends on who it is. So there's nuance, right? So if it's somebody who's a newcomer who just blazes a crazy fast time out of nowhere, I haven't seen it before, and we don't know what you can do. But if it's someone that's proven, that we've seen perform at the highest level, I think that we can take it and say, all right, I expect them to carry this throughout the season. It also depends on who's your coach. They're the ones that have to guide you and make sure that you're peaked at the right time. So if you're with like an experienced coach, we know that you're in good hands, and they're going to be able to taper you and get you ready for the big dance and be ready when you need to be. But if it's somebody, maybe a college kid, they might be guns blazing now.
That's true.
But come September,
fall off.
Exactly. We've seen this many times. I know you've seen this many times as well. Sometimes we root for the college kids to make the team because we know come Worlds they're going to be petered out. So I think it's a nuanced answer.
All right, I like that. My co-host is very cerebral, and I like that about you. You think about everything. You don't just talk to talk. You have a thought behind it. Right. I like playing this game. I know it's not a game, it's a segment. It's called In and Out, but this is fun. We're going to keep this segment. We're going to keep the segment because I very much like it. All right.
I'm in on the segment.
Okay. Me too. All right. Joining us now on Trackside is the founder of Citius Mag, Chris Chavez. I think we're now Instagram friends. I think we made it right this week. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm excited because to be part of this. I caught the first episode and been loving sort of the excitement. I feel like right now in the track world, there's just been so much new stuff to talk about, or else like this part of the season would be pretty quiet. But no, it's been a lot of fun, and so I'm excited to chop it up with you guys.
Yeah, we got to thank Michael Johnson for that in the Grand Slam track and field. Okay, but we're not going there yet, right? Let's talk about June 26th in Paris is going to be a big day, right? Especially for one Faith Kipyegon. Of course, she's Olympic champion, world record holder in the women's mile, and she's doing this thing called Breaking 4. She's going to try and be the first woman to go under 4 minutes in the mile. Oh my goodness. Her record right now is 4:07.64. Now, if she does this with her longtime sponsor, Nike, they're the ones funding this, then it won't count, right, Aaron? It won't count. It won't be ratified. It won't be a world record if she actually does this.
Right, because they have pacers and it's not open to the open field, so it won't count for a record, but it will still be a person achievement. Chris, could you maybe give us one reason why she might do it and then one reason why she might not?
My thinking is, I think she does it if there's some crazy shoe technology that we've never even seen before that is not World Athletics legal, and that they have these, probably male pacers to set the pace for her. That could be part of and if she's, super fit, like she just ran a 1K at the China Diamond League and it was on 4-minute pace. Now you got to go the extra 609 meters, and that's going to be the hard part. So the fitness is there with extra, the month or so of training. Like I give her those points, but then I say, I don't think she'll do it because it is a big chunk of time to try and chop off. And so, yeah, I mean, like I'm so split right now, but I think that we'll see something come close. I think we'll be faster than the world record. I don't quite know if it'll be under 4 minutes.
Listen, Chris, Nike's in the lab right now cooking up some shoes, right? Some springs, whatever they put a trampoline in her heels. They're doing something. But I want to know from your standpoint, when you think about it being about selling shoes and being gimmicky and being about just like human achievement, like where do you really stand on that aspect of it? I'll be honest, I love it. I like watching. I love the popcorn. But what's your take about it from that point of view?
Yeah, so obviously as a track nerd and someone who, is super in the sport, like I want to see it happen, right? Because like we all want to see what is the possibility of how fast a human being can go. But I think Nike is thinking beyond that, right? Like they are not trying to cater to the people like us who live and breathe the sport. I think that this is trying to send a message to the greater sports landscape where, Faith Kipyegon is a mother and like she's had these tremendous achievements at the global stages, coming back after having a child. And so she is the greatest 1,500-meter runner of all time. And my hope is that this brings her to the next level of stardom in the sport. Eliud Kipchoge is a global phenomenon. Like that guy can't go to most road races around the world without being swarmed by people. People will pack any stadium or theater to hear that guy speak. And on the women's side, the on the distance side of events, it's kind of been it boggles my mind why Faith has not been at that level. And so if she's able to achieve this thing, it's going to be something that's going to make global headlines all around the world, front page news. Woman breaks 4 minutes for the mile. Like it's still a very special achievement, and I think that that's the hope, is that this can show what is possible for female athletes. This is what's possible for mothers in sport, and so that's the ultimate hope, is that Faith Kipyegon blows up as a track star as a result of an accomplishment like this.
Chris, I want to change gears a little bit with you. One of the favorite events that I like to watch now is the 1500, because there's so many different top athletes that go at it. What is your take for going into this summer? Do you think that there's a clear favorite? Do you feel like it's unpredictable because there's so many people that could win at any moment? Or do you have someone like a Jakob who, has shown out? He's been beaten a couple times, but he's definitely one of the top guys in the field. Do you think he's the favorite for this summer, or do you have somebody else?
I love to hear that like a sprinter has been just caught up into the excitement of these guys trash talking so much,
it's
because
the banter. I'm drawn to the banter. I love the energy. The Josh Kerr, the Jakob back and forth. How could I not?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten it in the sprints, and then the distance has gotten a taste of it over the last year. I even wrote like last summer like this whole entire timeline of the back and forth that these guys have done, and it's still going on. And honestly, like after the indoor season, I thought that this event was even more interesting, just because you have Cole Hawker, who's the Olympic champion, top of the world. You have Josh Kerr, who's the reigning world champion, and he's still hungry after getting a silver last year. And then of course there's Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who has not won the world championship gold medal yet at 1500 meters outdoors. There has been a hiccup in things because just last week it was reported that he's going to delay the start to his outdoor season. He's got an Achilles injury. He's very fortunate in the sense that Worlds is late this year. It's in September, and there's enough time for him to get back and recover. So I'm not all too concerned on hitting the panic button on the Jakob versus Josh Kerr rivalry, but someone like Josh Kerr is on top of the world right now. He got his swagger back in Miami at the Grand Slam meet because he won the 1500 and had a really good showing in the 800. And so, he's reminding people, I'm the reigning world champion. Someone like Cole Hawker hasn't had electric results just yet, but again, like there's still time, there's still weeks before the US championships, and so we'll get a clear picture, I think, come July as to like who's the real deal. But certainly come September in Tokyo, like it's definitely going to be one of the must-watch events of the championships.
Listen, Chris, we love distance here on Trackside. Don't let these fast twitch fibers fool you. We love to watch it. We've been talking about it even before this interview, the fact that how these races are so dramatic and the tactics and how they kind of play out like in slow motion compared to like a 12-second or a 10-second, 9-second sprint event. But what makes this crop of 1500-meter men so compelling and so electric? We haven't even talked about Ngus, right? The American. What makes it? Is it there are times what they do on the track, or is it some of that little spicy trash talking off the track? What makes this mix so compelling?
I think it's the personality of characters that you get across the board, right? Like you do have like the two very brash, outspoken guys in Josh Kerr and Jakob Ingebrigtsen, and then it was the party crasher in Cole Hawker, who does something that was historic at the Olympics last year. And someone like Yared Nuguse also came away with the medal, and I think he's always been like this super chill, relaxed, quiet killer on the track. And for fans, I think the best thing is to pick your favorite in the whole thing, and like that's your horse in the race. And then all throughout the season, it's like my biggest piece of encouragement for fans is like become like a diehard Cole Hawker, become a diehard like Josh Kerr fan, and then you can dislike the other side too. Like that's sports. And so I think for an event like the 1500, it has so much of that. And then at the same time, like you just never know with like the way that these races unfold. It could be really fast, it could be very tactical, and then someone comes out and just shocks the whole entire field. So that's the beauty of the event, and the fact that it happens over the span of 3 or 4 minutes, and like there's just so much drama that could unfold in there. And so it's the characters, it's the talent, and I think the fact that these are the best ever in this event, and like the event has never been stronger before. And so, yeah, there's plenty to love in the 1500 right now.
Well, you know, I'm very passionate about the sprints as a sprinter, and I could definitely tell that you're a kindred spirit and very passionate about the distance running. So it's always appreciated to have your analysis on the show. Chris, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was a 200 guy back in high school. My PR is 25-1,
nice,
but you
nice.
know. But then the distance side called me over, so I've been enjoying it. But no, for sure, I love all things track and field.
Love it, love it, love it. Take care, man. Nice to talk to you.
Appreciate it.
That was fun having Chris on. Chris, 25-second PB in the 200. We're going to fly you out some super shoes. Okay, we got to talk about that. Just kidding. That was in high school. We know. Okay, it's time for this week's segment, our shout outs. And Aaron, I know you have someone really that you want to shout out. Who is that?
Yes, let's pass some love around, okay? A lot of times we focus on the medals, we focus on the times, but we don't focus enough on the consistency. And as a sprinter, I appreciate athletes who show up and we know what we're going to get every single time. And the athlete I want to highlight today, none other than Mr. Akani Simbine. Yes, from South Africa. I call him the South African GOAT. He's run sub 10 seconds for 11 straight years, breaking Mr. Usain Bolt's previous record of 10 straight years. He was 4th place at the Paris 2024 Games, like I said, in the 100, but he also was 4th at the Tokyo 2020 Games. He has not lost in any of the 4 races he's ran this year, including a 986 win-aided time. He also anchored South Africa to the gold, beating us, unfortunately, where we got bronze. And he has the world-leading time right now of 990 that he sets in Botswana. So he's on fire right now. He's finally getting his flowers, so I'm happy for him because I appreciate consistency. I've always said to him directly that he is one of the best sprinters ever. He just doesn't get the recognition for it. It's kind of like a Charles Barkley situation where Charles never won the NBA championship, so he doesn't get the recognition. But he's a Hall of Famer and one of the best players ever. And Mr. Akani, I recognize your talent. And you get your flowers.
Game recognized game. Listen, I saw you dapping it up with him at World Relays, so you guys get along really well.
Yeah.
I love that you are shouting him out and highlighting his accomplishments because sometimes you're right. We only focus on medals, what you have, what you've won, and truly have had longevity in his career. I do wonder, though, if history will remember him and respect him because we do only focus on medals. Do you think that's going to be lost in time?
Unfortunately, I think so. Unless segments like this, continue to shout him out. Like I said, we focus on the medals. We're very medal-centric. And even head-to-heads, he's beat a lot of big names. He's very consistent. He's won a lot of Diamond League races. Like he just won 2 Diamond League races this year in China. And I expect him to be competitive in the rest of the circuit. But you look at a guy like Asafa Powell.
Yeah.
You look back in history and everyone always says, unfortunately, they call him a choker. They said, he never got it done in the big race. But
Doesn't
this guy
do it
ran
on the day. Yeah,
this guy run 97 sub 10 races. I mean, I get it. We all care about the medals. Mm-hmm. It's about getting it done in the dance. Yeah. But there's got to be something said for breaking world records, being consistent in terms of your times, running fast times, winning races, head-to-heads. We've got a little bit more respect for that too.
So this might be his year. Hopefully this is his year because I think he's on the cusp of something great, and hopefully he does that. All right, I like that take.
Yeah.
I know this is not in or out, but I'm all in on that, okay? I'm all in on that. All right, a triple medalist from Paris 2024 headlines the 4th Diamond League stop in Rabat. Faith Kipyegon makes her season debut in 400-meter hurdles and lets Sili Tobogo doubles up at the 100 and 200 meters. Tune in on Sunday at 2 p.m. ET only on CBC Gem. And just like that, episode deuce, that's the 200 meters, meaning episode 2. I know I'm complicated, but we put it in the bag. It is over. It is done. How you feeling?
I feel great about it. Second episode, we're just getting better. We're hitting our stride. It's just like, it's going to be like my season. We're just going to get faster and faster. We're going to get better and better, work on our chemistry.
We're just warming up.
Yeah, we're just getting started. Tune in, just see us hit. We're going to start flexing,
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
Where's my ISO shot? Aaron's leading me right now.
Let me see the muscle. Yeah.
Nothing's there. But we will see you every Thursday, 10 a.m. on CBC Sports. Thank you for watching this episode of Trackside. Ciao.